Are you ready to increase your retention and revenue and convert website traffic to clients? Then you're ready for Maya. Maya is a marketing and client recruitment software. Maya creates better business relationships by pairing the right clients with the right beauty professionals. How do we do it? A matchmaker. Your brand will have its own unique matchmaking survey. By pairing people based on their skill set, budget, personality, and lifestyle preferences, Maya creates lasting relationships that keep both sides coming back for more. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Pair the right clients with the right beauty pros the first time. Visit joinmaya.com to get started.
Thank you for joining me. This is Katie Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. I have a new guest here, first time guest, Danielle Cherewyk. I hope I said that correctly.
You did.
Yes. And her salon does 40% RTS. Some of you are like, what the heck is RTS? Retail to service percentage. What if in your total sales, 40% of your sales were retail? I mean, everybody's like, yeah, I want that. How do I do this? We're going to find out what Danielle has done to be so successful with her multi-location salons. Let me just tell you a bit about Danielle. Her passion has been the fuel behind her career. She was born and raised in the salon industry by her mother, Karen Leffley. Danielle has always aspired to open her own salon. Her vision for the Headroom was to create an exciting atmosphere that still allowed for relaxation, a place where both clients and staff would feel comfortable. Her passion for the art of hairstyling and dedication to her career shines throughout the Headroom and is known to her team and clientele alike. After joining Redken as a certified educator in 2009, Danielle's career evolved into something different, sharing her passion and knowledge with fellow stylists and cosmetologists became an unexpected love. Redken's motto is learn better, live better. That hit a chord with Danielle, and it became her standard that she brought to the Headroom. She is very successful, my Canadian neighbor to the north. Without further ado, help me welcome Danielle. Welcome to Beyond the Technique.
Thanks for having me, Katie.
It's my pleasure. And we've got to know each other a little bit here with being involved in High Performance Salon Academy. You are a mentor within that organization. It's just been really cool to get to know you and see your drive. So I'm excited that you're here.
Well, I'm excited to be here, and it's always a pleasure when we get to meet together live or on any of the calls. We've been loving the impact of Maya in the Academy for sure.
Amazing. Well, okay, let's dive right in of just like backing it up to the beginning of your career. It sounds like you got in the beauty industry at the age of 1 years old, but really tell us, when did it actually start for you?
Yeah, right from the womb. And my mom is still a hairstylist in my salon company. She like loves doing hair. So I have just grown up in the industry always. When you'd think that that would make me a great hairstylist, but I never had to do my own hair. So it was actually awful to get started because I was always like the dolly. Like I could just go in the salon and anybody would do my hair. My mom would always do it for me. So when I was in hair school, I think people were like, oh, okay, this is like the salon owner's daughter. She's going to be so good. And that was not the case. I went into the industry, I was 17. So this is about 20 years ago when I actually started hair school, and went on from there very quickly, like into an apprenticeship, and from there into salon ownership when I was 22.
Now, did you buy your mom's salon or how did that work?
So my mom has owned salons over the years, a few different ones, and she's a little bit more gypsy. She kind of moved around a lot and did a lot of stuff in the industry. I mean, she's been in the industry for 40, 45 years probably, and moved a lot over that time. So I did not. I did start in my apprenticeship at a salon that she had worked in. And then she came to work for me like years down the road. It wasn't a fast come together. She was an independent at that point. So then she joined with our salon company. And I had bought an existing salon, but not hers.
Well, let's talk about that. What made you decide, here's an existing salon, I want to purchase the salon, and you obviously had a vision for what it could be. Tell us a bit about that story.
Okay. This one's going to come as a surprise. So I always wanted to own a salon. I loved management. My mom's husband had a restaurant when I was in high school, and I loved managing, and I loved helping out with the inventory order and doing the schedule and systems. That I've always loved that, like since high school. I worked there full time. From the time that I was probably 15 years old, and I actually dropped out of high school. Like I didn't finish my last year and went right into hair school. And then when I was working in a salon, they had a lot of turnover, and they had lost their manager. She moved away. And so I said to the owner, who was had just had a baby, I'm like, listen, I've been in the salon industry all my life. I love doing all of this stuff. I was probably 19 or 20. And I was like, listen, like you're getting a 19 or 20-year-old manager. It's going to cost you way less than if you were to hire a different manager, and I can take on all this stuff for you. And she was like, oh, okay, I'll let you do it. And then a salon that she was friends with had closed down, and all their staff were joining our team. And she wanted to offer the manager, which it was kind of our agreement. So it was not shady of her, but at that point, I was just really loving managing. And she wanted to offer that manager the management position for us. And like our agreement had kind of been a temporary one. I was like, I'll cover things while you're on maternity leave. I know I'm young and that's fine. And so I was getting demoted. I was getting that manager position taken away. And there was another Redken salon that I was familiar with because I was educating for Redken, who was leaving town, and she was going to close down her salon. And so I connected with her and put an offer on that.
Okay, well, things
It was a
aligned.
demotion. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you start ownership. How quickly did you realize that ownership looks a little different than management, and what did you learn from that?
I will say, like, I am so lucky. It was a very small salon, so it was smaller than average overhead. At that point, I was your busy hairstylist owner. And so, like typical in our industry, I could use my income from behind the chair to float the salon company and take less of a wage than I probably deserved. And which is gross. And I hate to even add to that statistic, but I was that statistic of a salon owner who was using their income to float the salon and not taking a proper pay or profit in the company. And so that was fine because I was like passionate and it was fun and I didn't care. And gross. But that's how it went until I had babies. Until it was like, okay, like I can't take away from my household income to float a salon anymore. And I need to get some help with systems. And at that point, I had gotten a business coach and I really leaned into my rep. And I've had so much support from Redken in that. And from my distributor, from the reps, from Redken, they all really, I finally had to say, like, I'm this statistic and I need help. And then, that turned around and we put in some systems and started tracking all that stuff a little bit better. And it just get better and better each year.
Well, congrats on the growth and for getting help. I think sometimes that is the only decision that needs to be made for people to have a breakthrough. So that's huge. When did you become multi-location? And we didn't even bring up that you own beauty schools.
Yeah, but just one. We have our local school now, multi-location. So we were in, like I said, I purchased a little salon, like a little salon. Like we had 3 tiny chairs and we were inside a women's gym. And so we had shared facilities with them. So we had about 500 square feet inside there. So we could share like laundry facilities and bathrooms and that kind of stuff. So it was all salon floor, but it was tiny. That's like a primary suite in somebody's house. And we were running a salon we had grown it. It started with me and one other one, and we were hiring one more. And then the gym was closing and we had in our 500 square feet, we had gotten the room beside us. So I think we were up to 750 square feet, and about 8 or 9 employees in there,
Wow.
cross shifting. I know it was tight. It was really tight. And then we opened up like our bigger location, and we kept them both for a little while. But then when the gym closed and stuff, we just stayed in our one big location. We did a rebrand. So that was in 2020. That was in 2013. So when we opened up the big location, then we opened up a second location, like another big one. We're like 2,700 square feet, and 2018. The end of 2018, like December 2018. So we had all of 2019 and then 2020. So, and yeah, both of those locations are still doing really great. They're thriving. And in 2022, our local school, they had an absentee owner. She lived on the other side of the province. She had a few locations, and has now sold all of them, but she was selling them off. And this one was the first one she sold. She was very far away. And so she had approached us to see if we were interested, and it was really in alignment with our vision of education, and we were hiring most of their students anyways. And I felt like it added not only to that for us, but also like I'm getting a lot of senior staff now. We've been in business now. It's gonna be our 15th year anniversary this August. And I have a few who have been with me for all of that time. And so like, what is the next chapter for them? I think that it is to share the legacy that they've created and share pathways for our next generation. And to be able to do that through the school, I think it will be a beautiful thing. And we've got some teachers there. She had already had a great staff. We kept all of them, and they're doing awesome, and just hoping to open up more opportunity for everybody through those.
Wow, congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, so your systems are in place. You're in growth mode in so many ways. And that includes the growth of your retail sales. Now, I know that High Performance Salon Academy literally brings you to all of these events because they want you to speak and to inspire owners everywhere to increase their retail sales and to really rally the team to think differently about retail and to achieve better results in retail. What is your secret? We are dying to know.
Yeah. So retail has always been a big part of us. Like I said, I started out as an educator for Redken, and so it was a product that I really believed in, and just like retailing was something that I did always. And so people coming into our company already knew that as a culture. Our salon retail, it's actually 44%. I didn't want to correct you, but
Whoa, I need to increase
it's just
that.
a few, right?
Okay.
So we always had a really high retail. It was about 25%, just very naturally. Like I said, we didn't have a lot of systems before, but we hovered around 25%, which we always thought was pretty great. And then we seen somebody in the academy who had a 40% month. And I was like, somebody just did 40%. And I shared that with my team, and they were like, well, if they can do it, we can do it. And so we did. We just started growing it and growing it. And then we had to change our standards around retail. Like, what does that actually look like? And as soon as somebody comes into our company, our level 1 base level, their expectation to hit is 35%, and they don't know any different. So we're hiring them often right from school, not from other salons. And so they really don't know differently. That just is the standard that we expect. And we do set them up in a lot of ways. And I know that that's what you want to talk about. Like, what are some of the things that we do to help support them to hit that? But I've been sharing a quote a lot lately that one of my son's teachers shared with me. They had a class it was just like a parenting workshop at our school. And they said, like, listen, when you have kids and you have expectations for them, or goals that you want them to hit, you can do one of two things. You can either increase the support or lower the expectation. And so we do a lot of things in our company to support the team to sell.
That's amazing. And I really think it's so smart that your baseline already has large expectations. Like you said, then nobody expects differently. That's just the baseline. So that's huge. Okay. Many owners are thinking, well, are you doing the new thing where you're separating parts from labor and the parts portion they get paid commission on? Is that happening at your brand?
Yes, so we do use Salon Scale as a brand to separate parts and labor, and I do know that our color parts from the company contribute to 11% of those. So we're doing 33% in bottles sold and 11% is in chemical charges or like that parts portion of our parts and labor pricing.
Okay, cool. And then the rest is showing up and actually selling hair care products.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways that you support your team and set them up for success to hit those goals?
So for one, we don't do sales. I think that it's like, unless it's a brand sponsored sale, if we do a sale, if it's like a blowout or something like that, our team's not paid for it. If we have to sell a product that's not like a distributor sale, then they don't get paid for that. So our staff don't want us to put things on sale because they want to get paid for their retail sales. And also we just feel like as a brand, it's a disservice to our guests who are buying products. Like there's nothing worse than buying something and then going a week later and finding it that it's on sale. Like you kind of feel like you got ripped off a little bit, and we never want that to happen to our guests. There are some promotions, but that is not how we do it. I just want to share that because I think that that's something that a lot of brands do. And, to the point of like protecting our margins, they're small. And so we don't do a lot of that. What we do is we make sure that our inventory is really dialed in. So if there's not product on the shelf, they can't buy it. And we do keep a substantial inventory of especially of our top 10 selling products. So we always know like what are our top 10 selling products. And if we are ever going to, promote something, we generally bundle it with a top seller. We make sure our team is really knowledgeable about those specific products and we go all in on them. And so having that inventory and that inventory control is really important. We do a weekly order, so a weekly restock. So if something is ever not in stock, and we never want I'm like, fill the drawers with those top 10s if you have to, like never run out of them. But if we do ever run out of something, we can just, we can sell it to the guests and they know that it's going to be here within a week, because we are having a shipment every week. So the inventory things that we're controlling from our standpoint helps a lot. We do a few other things like we have stickers. Have you ever gone to a bookstore and they have like Beth's pick or whichever, like the staff picks on books? We do that with our product. So we have like little stickers of our team's faces and it'll be like Danielle's pick and different things to engage the clients like that and make it a fun shopping experience.
Okay, I love that. That's so creative. Makes everybody feel like they're part of it too. That's really cool. I want to go back to the parts and labor because I'm sure people listening are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's go back and tell me more about that. So if I'm a guest and I come in to get my hair color done, on my checkout ticket, what do I see?
So you would see your service that you would see, and then you would see your chemical charges, and then you would see all the retail that you're purchasing.
Yeah, no
Because you're
kidding.
purchasing retail if you come to our salon, because you need retail to maintain that service. But you would see the service charge, and it would say, we would say like a haircut, or well, I guess it would say a color in that instance. So we do have a rate for our services. It is based on time, but it's a rate. So think about like when we're going to parts and labor, we're starting to look at what other trades are doing. So think if you were going to a mechanic shop, there's a specific rate for an oil change. Now the company is going to have, they're going to have people that are faster at doing that, and they're going to have people that are a little bit slower at doing that. We don't want our guests to be, we have like a standard time that our team can take. Some of them can do it a little bit faster. Some take longer. Taking longer doesn't give them the right to charge more unless it's longer for like a specialty haircut or, somebody with really long hair and thick hair. So they might see an add-on charge for that. There would only be an add-on if it was like because of the service, not because of the stylist timing. So we do have a rate set for each of our services. And so you would only see that. You wouldn't see a per minute charge, though our prices have been broken down to the minute. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I see
Okay.
the services part is charged down to the minute of what it would take, depending on the type of service. And then is it actually say like chemical charge and then X amount?
Yep. Yeah, so we would say ours is labeled salon scale. I have seen a salon do it and they call it like a chemical, like it's actually like chemical usage fee. I like that better, but we just haven't ever changed ours. Ours actually says salon scale.
And do you put a margin on that? So let's say you figured out that X amount of ounces equals this amount that you pay as a company for your inventory.
Yeah.
Do you put an increased margin on that?
Mm. Do we mark up our retail on the back end? Do you mean?
Yeah, like your color
Or do we?
usage. Let's say it costs you $10 when you know you're mixing up 6 ounces of product and you charge the guest $10, or you charge the guest 20,
Yeah, we have a markup on it. Yeah,
which gives you
which then
the
will cover
ability to pay out the percentage of commission,
to
right?
pay out payroll. And also we have like things. So I think some of those are getting like really dialed in to include costs of like, you can actually put in like your gloves and your foil use and all those kinds of things. We don't charge those all out, but that is also included in our margin that we're accounting for.
And then are there goals for your team to hit in different retail or those chemical charges? So like, let's say, hey, you sell $1,000 in this payroll period and you get X amount of retail commission. I guess how is that retail commission structure set up for your team?
Yeah, so we used to have a sliding scale that like if they hit 10% RTS, they would get 10% retail bonus. Our team was always hitting 20. And so we've made it 20. If they sell under 20% now, I think it's actually under, I honestly, I don't even know because we never do it. But I think it's if their retail falls below 14%, they would not get their commission. And I don't think that's happened in our company, but that is how we had set it up just from previous systems.
So for
And
your
so I think you're asking, I think the other part of that is like, is our team incentivized to overmix color? And I would say like, no, there are bonuses and things. We have $1,000 club. We actually have $5,000 club now because we had to have like our team, if they're hitting $5,000 in a month of retail sales, they get a bonus. But for chemical usage, we do have like usage guidelines and an audit system to make sure that that's not how they're doing it. And the other thing that we look for our team is bottle count sold. So if they're just jacking up their salon scale, like their product usage to clients, that they would be written up.
yeah,
We
my
haven't had a
head
problem with it,
my
but we
head
do have to audit it. Yeah.
my head actually didn't even go there, but that's a really good point to bring up because I'm sure that could happen.
I've seen it happen, unfortunately. Fortunately for us, and we did put an audit system just to make sure that it's not happening. That would just feel awful. Our team is like probably more often than not, which is a whole other thing, but like more often than not, they would probably undercharge the guest. It's just like our ego around charging, right? Then overcharge the guest. And that has been our experience. Equally a problem and equally something that we need to talk about. But I do want to make sure that our team is like very like not over mixing to hit their goals. And the
When
clients are.
It's so smart to have all of this in place. So when you are traveling around and speaking, what's typically the advice you're offering other owners in order to help them increase their team's retail?
Yeah. So one of the things often that I get asked about a retail is how do you motivate your team to sell retail? And I'm like, that's like the worst question because you can't just motivate staff to sell. Like you can, but it's very short-lived. Like how often, I know you've shared a little bit, like you've been on a health journey and so disciplined in that, but how often do we like start something in our lives, whether it's like a health journey or a new habit or something, and how long does that motivation really live for? Like it's short lasting unless there's a deeper motivation behind it or like a system to make sure that it's happening for us. And so motivating my staff, like I can't be there. Like you said, I'm on the road. We have multiple businesses. I can't be there all the time to motivate them. They need to be self-disciplined enough and have that care for their guests to make sure that they're selling without. And so something that we talk about with our team is like, what are the systems that we can put in place to make sure that it doesn't matter if my stylists are having a good day or a bad day, they're serving our clients and selling retail. So some of the things that we do is we really focus on bottle count, and I'll share, like, we do an activity. Often I share that. I don't know if you want to dive into that, but we do an activity to help kind of expand the vision of what's possible and customer service. So for us, retailing is not selling. That's like used car salesman gross. And our team is not allowed to sell product to clients if they don't need it. Like, I highly encourage, like, ask your client if they have the product at home already. If they do, don't sell them more. Like, that's so shady. And it just drives me nuts when people are like, oh, you weren't using my product at home, so my color is not guaranteed. And it's like, really? Like, let's find out what they're using. Let's make sure that we're supporting our clients. We're not handcuffing our clients into selling. And I just really believe in servant leadership and serving our guests to our deepest capability. And sometimes just selling a product is not the thing, but educating them on how they maintain it is really important. So we start with a consultation always with our guests and quoting. When we quote, we're going to quote for the service, the salon scale, like you spoke about. So like the parts and labor, so that client's not surprised. And then also for the maintenance product for that service. It's consumers are getting so smart, but like rewind 5 years ago when we were starting to see this new generation of blondes coming out, and we'd finish the service and we would have quoted for it, but then we're like, and you need purple shampoo or it's going to go brassy. And clients are like, I just used my whole budget on this service. Like, you didn't tell me that. And I'm like, oh no, that was on us. And so we talk about product right from the start. Like, if you want your hair to look at like this and you want to maintain it, you're going to need retail. I say to my team, like, that feeling we get as stylists when clients are like, oh, I wish I could take you home with me. Tell your client the truth. They can take you home with them. You would not be able to do their hair nice if you didn't have the products and the tools and the things that you use to make their hair nice. So tell your clients the truth. Like, don't just like take the ego and the pat on the back. Like, yes, we have skills and we could probably do it a little bit more practice. We can do it better than a guest could, but they can do a lot of it themselves too, if we're properly educating them and they have the proper tools and products at home. And, you know, that's kind of the bigger part of, and that's the system that my team can fall back on, that our clients are always buying.
I think that's brilliant because it really helps, especially kind of new to the floor stylists, create their plan right up front. So they know what they're going to grab, kind of beginning with the end in mind. And I think it just helps them with the timing of executing the service as well. Like, here's what we're going to do today based on what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm going to grab. I think about stylists who help people shop for clothes and they're like, based on you and your lifestyle, I'm going to go grab these pieces for you. It's kind of like that. I'm going to be grabbing these products to use on you. And here's what that investment's going to look like should you move forward with bringing them home. So brilliant. And I like that it's a process that's put in place for every single person. That is the part I think is obviously key. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. And, you know, it's really their insurance policy too, because when we have clients that are like, I can't recreate this look at home, or they're upset after that quoting and that consultation, they can always come back on it. Like, remember, we talked about that and we have it all documented. So it saved our butts in a lot of ways too, in having some of those, you know, upset guests or having some guests that didn't have the right expectations. Or whenever we have like a sticker shock client, it'll be like, the stylist is like, I didn't quote it. Like, I skipped that process, and they will never do it again. And so, you know, it doesn't happen perfect all of the time, but most of the time it does. And they learn why really quickly if they don't.
That's so smart. I mean, hitting this type of standard with 44% retail to service across the board is massive. Do you have any other big goal, big vision ideas for the Headroom yet this year?
Yeah, like, always. I'm like, you're visionary, you're dreamer. I'm always like, I know people ask me, like, did you ever expect it to get this big? And I'm like, yeah, I did. I always like, I didn't do it to not grow it and grow our people. I mean, our goal is to have more of our staff hit 100K in earnings, have lifestyle, have different goals. We always want to serve our clients and just continue to be inclusive and continue to help stylists gain success, whether that's from like starting them out, giving them a great education to go and find work, or our existing stylists to be able to find. We have all types in our company. So some are going for like 100K and some are looking for maybe a little bit more work-life balance. Well, they have babies. We have like a lot. We have so many babies on our team. I think I've got 6 pregnant right now. And that's like an ongoing, like we always have 6. I don't know why, but there's always lots of babies in our company. And I always think like that's just a result of happy, healthy women working in our company. But we all have different goals, and we just want to create those custom career paths for them to live their best lives and serve our clients to the best.
And how about you, Danielle? Any personal goals or things that you're working towards as your own, entrepreneur leader?
Personal goals right now. Well, I'm just always working on systems and things within the salon for sure. That's like, those just like jack me up, and I'm always trying to like look at automation and now sharing that with other companies through High Performance Salon Academy. And then on the personal side, I love to travel. So I always have a trip being planned out. I shared with you before the call, like we like to take a 1-month vacation every year with our kids. So working on that. And I also signed up for a triathlon because why not? So just I seen something at the beginning of the year that said self-discipline is the greatest form of self-care. And so trying to adopt that and just, always push myself to be the best version of myself and to not be comfortable. And this for sure is one of those things. So I'm doing a triathlon with one of my partners, and I think we've got about 2 weeks to go. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, congratulations. So by the time this launches, you will be a triathlete. That is so freaking awesome. I think that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's
Yeah.
so
Well, thanks for manifesting that I finish it.
well. Before we're done, do you have any final words of encouragement for owners listening? Because if they are listening here, they're very driven, they're very motivated, they've waited till the end. What would be that last thing that you want to encourage them with today?
Well, I think I said it already, like you can either lower the expectation or increase the support. And I think that we need to not be frustrated with our stylists when they're not selling, but really expand what is their belief of what's possible, and then how can we help them achieve it. And oftentimes we can do it just with like simple systems within our company. And if you need help, ask for it. Like I've shared those things already, but I'm gonna go back to them because as an owner, asking for help, I think that when I was a salon owner, I was like, I should know these things because I'm a salon owner. I should know my finances because I'm a salon owner. I should know about every product in my company because that's what salon owners should do. And I had like this expectation of like what a business owner should know. And the more that I know, the more I realize the less I know. And asking for help is going to serve you and it's going to serve the team. And if you're not there, like reach out to me or reach out to you, Katie, or, of course, the High Performance Salon Academy would love to help you, but find somebody that's doing what you want to do, whether that's retail or triathlon or whatever it is that you're working on, and like ask them how they did it. Oftentimes we're so honored to be asked. And so it feels good to help people. So give people that opportunity to help you by asking for it.
I like that. Give people the opportunity to help you. Well, thank you. This has been so helpful to our community, and I love learning from you and hearing about your life. I can't wait to see you soon. Thanks again for being with me today.
Thanks, Katie.
And thank you all for joining us here week after week at Beyond the Technique. If you love this platform, we would appreciate you taking just a moment really quick to leave us a positive review wherever you're listening so that more people like yourself will discover Beyond the Technique, where we're here to change the way that you are supported in your business. Until next time, everybody, have an awesome day and stay strong.